Too many men struggle to stand their ground. They allow others to come and go as if their time and emotions mean nothing. They give second chances to those who walked away, not because they should, but because they're afraid to say no. But you're not like most men. You felt the sting of betrayal, the weight of abandonment, but you're not here to dwell on the past. You're here because you're done being taken advantage of. You want answers, why they left, why they've come back, and most importantly, how to handle it with strength and confidence. You're ready to break the cycle, and I'm here to show you how. Step 1. Guilt. It's a heavy emotion, but here's the truth. Guilt isn't about you, it's about them. When someone leaves, especially in today's world, they don't always feel guilt right away. In the beginning, they convince themselves they made the right decision. When she walked away, she may have felt sure of herself, maybe even relieved, thinking she was making the best choice. She may have assumed you'd be fine or not given it much thought at all. But what matters now is how you respond. Will you let guilt control you, or will you reclaim your power? The choice is yours. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps spread this message to those who need it most, and together we can challenge the misconceptions that keep men stuck in the past. She left without hesitation, convinced you'd struggle without her. Maybe she expected you to chase her, to break down, to beg for another chance. But the harsh reality? She never cared enough to stay. When she walked away, she wasn't thinking about your pain. She wasn't reflecting on the time and energy you invested in her. She believed she was making the right decision, pursuing something better, whether it was freedom, excitement, or another man she thought could replace you. For a while, she may have felt empowered, even relieved, telling herself she had outgrown you. She might have been caught up in the attention of others, enjoying the feeling of being free. But life has a way of humbling people. What once seemed exciting begins to feel empty. The attention she sought no longer fulfills her. The freedom she chased starts to feel like isolation. The grass she thought was greener turns out to be nothing but artificial turf. And all the while you were not chasing, begging, or waiting. Instead, you made a choice to grow. You chose to shift your focus, to invest in yourself, to become stronger mentally, emotionally, and physically. You weren't dwelling on the past. You were building your future. You didn't waste time trying to prove your worth to someone who walked away. Instead, you let your progress speak for itself. And that's when the guilt sets in. At first, it's subtle, a fleeting thought. Did I make a mistake? But over time, that question gets louder. She starts remembering all the things you did for her, the nights you stayed up listening to her problems, the times you supported her when no one else did, the moments when life felt unbearable and you were the one who kept her steady. She realizes that you weren't just a good man, you were the man, the kind of man she took for granted. But don't mistake guilt for true regret. Guilt isn't about what she did to you, it's about what she's feeling now. Guilt is selfish. It's not about your pain, it's about her discomfort. She sees you thriving, and it forces her to ask questions she doesn't want to face. If he's doing so well without me, was I the problem? Did I give up too soon? Did I throw away something real? And instead of sitting with those thoughts, instead of taking true accountability, she looks for the easiest way to escape them, coming back. Not because she truly values you, not because she suddenly realizes your worth, but because being in your presence again eases the guilt she feels. And this is where most men go wrong. They mistake her return for love. They assume she's finally realized what she lost. But in reality, she's just running from the consequences of her own actions. She doesn't want to take full responsibility for leaving. She doesn't want to admit that she made the wrong choice. So instead, she wants back in. Back to the comfort you once provided, back to the security she abandoned. But here's what you need to understand. Her guilt is not your responsibility. You are not her emotional band-aid. Taking her back out of pity doesn't just let her off the hook, it teaches her that she can do this again, that she can leave when it's convenient and return when it suits her. And that raises the most important question: what happens next time? What happens when she feels guilty again? When she starts questioning herself all over again? Will she walk away knowing you'll always be there, waiting for her return? Or will she finally realize that some doors, once closed, never reopen? Because the truth is, you're not the same man she left. You're stronger, wiser, and more self-assured. You've built something for yourself, something she chose to walk away from. And now the choice isn't hers anymore, it's yours. So ask yourself this: are you willing to risk everything you've built for someone who only values you when it's convenient? Your growth is your power. Never trade it for someone else's regret. There comes a moment in every man's life when he must decide what he will and won't accept. Will you be the man who allows guilt and manipulation to dictate your choices? Or will you be the man who stands firm, values himself, and refuses to be a revolving door for someone who walked away? Because here's the truth: her guilt is not your burden to carry. She made her choice, and now she must live with the consequences. Every time you let her back in, you send a message that your boundaries, your peace, and your self-respect are negotiable. But as a man who knows his worth, those things should never be negotiable. You've done the work, you've healed, or you're on your way. You've picked up the pieces and started building a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Don't let her guilt drag you back into a situation that nearly broke you. You are not her savior. You are not her redemption. You are the man she couldn't replace. And that is a truth she will have to live with, because when someone leaves you, especially in a relationship, guilt isn't something they feel right away. At first, they feel certain. They believe they made the right decision. They walk away with confidence, maybe even arrogance, telling themselves they've outgrown you, that they deserve something better. But guilt doesn't appear instantly. It sneaks in like a shadow, creeping up over time until it becomes impossible to ignore. Let me explain. She left because she believed there was something more exciting, more fulfilling, or more freeing waiting for her. Maybe it was independence, the attention of other men, or simply the belief that you were replaceable. At first, she felt empowered. She convinced herself she had made the right choice. But life rarely plays out the way people expect. The attention she wanted, it feels hollow. The freedom she craved, it turns into loneliness. The excitement she chased, it fades. And meanwhile, you're not reacting the way she thought you would. She expected you to break down, to chase her, to try to prove your worth. She thought you'd be texting, checking in, trying to get closure. But instead, you chose something different. You chose to let her go. You didn't beg. You didn't wait. You didn't waste time trying to convince her to stay. Instead, you focused on yourself. You moved forward. You became stronger. And that's when the guilt starts to hit her like a storm. At first, it's just a whisper. Did I make a mistake? But it grows louder. She remembers how you were always there, how you listened when she had problems, how you supported her dreams, how you stood by her side when things got tough. And then she realizes she didn't just lose a man, she lost the man. But don't be fooled. Guilt is not the same as regret. Her guilt isn't about what she did to you. It's not about righting her wrongs. Her guilt is about how bad she feels about herself now. And that's the key. Guilt is selfish. She doesn't return because she suddenly sees your worth. She doesn't come back because she's ready to make things right. She comes back because being around you again makes her feel better. She sees you thriving, and it forces her to ask the questions she doesn't want to face. If he's doing this well without me, Was I the problem? Did I throw away something real? Did I make a mistake by leaving? But instead of taking responsibility, instead of sitting with those uncomfortable truths, she looks for an escape, and that escape is you. She tries to slip back into your life, not because she's changed, not because she's ready to do better, but because being with you again eases her guilt. And this is the moment where you have to make a decision. Are you the man who allows someone to use you as an emotional band-aid? Or are you the man who stands firm in his self-worth? Because if you let her back in, if you let her soothe her guilt by re-entering your life, you teach her that your peace is something she can disrupt whenever it suits her. And that's a dangerous precedent to set. So ask yourself, what happens next time? When she feels guilty again, when she starts questioning herself, will she walk away, knowing she can always return whenever it's convenient? Or will you make sure she understands that some doors, once closed, never reopen? This is your power, the power to move forward, the power to build something better, the power to refuse to be an option for someone who only values you when it's convenient. So stand firm, set the boundary, and never let someone else's guilt become your problem, because the man you are becoming doesn't need to look back. The power of integrity. Why you must stand firm. There comes a time in every man's life when he must make a choice. Will he be ruled by guilt and obligation, or will he stand firm in his self-worth? Too many men mistake a woman's return as a sign of love, believing that she has finally realized what she lost. But that's not what's happening. Her return isn't about love. It's about avoiding the consequences of her own choices. She doesn't come back because she suddenly values you. She comes back because she can't handle the reality of what she lost. And this is where most men go wrong. They allow guilt to cloud their judgment. They feel sorry for her. They believe that taking her back is an act of kindness. But it's not just forgiveness, it's permission. You're teaching her that she can leave and return whenever she feels like it. Think about it. What happens the next time she feels guilty? Will she walk away again, knowing she can always come back when it's convenient? Will you continue to let her disrupt your life whenever she wants to ease her own discomfort? You need to draw the line. Her guilt is her burden to carry, not yours. Let her sit with it. Let her face the consequences of her actions, because every time you let her back in, you're sending a message that your boundaries, your peace, and your self-respect are negotiable, but they're not. They matter. They are the foundation of the strong, better version of yourself that you're building. And no one, no matter how much guilt they feel, has the right to take that from you. Integrity. The mark of a strong man. Integrity isn't just about being a nice guy. It's about being a man of substance, a man who stands firm in his values, keeps his word, and refuses to compromise his self-respect for temporary comfort. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Because here's the truth. Women respect a man with integrity. They admire a man who won't compromise his values just to fit in or avoid discomfort. And more importantly, they fall in love with a man who makes them feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally and morally. That's the kind of man you become when you live with integrity. Building integrity. One step at a time. Integrity isn't something you switch on overnight. It's a habit built through small, consistent actions. Keep every promise you make, no matter how small. Be honest even when the truth is uncomfortable. Show up on time every time. These actions may seem insignificant, but over time they shape you into a man who earns trust without even trying. Who are you when no one is watching? Ask yourself this: am I the man I claim to be, or am I just playing a role? Because here's the hard truth. The truth always comes out. And when it does, it will either strengthen your reputation or tear it down. The legacy of integrity. Integrity is the difference between living with pride and living with regret. It's the line between being remembered and being forgotten. When you live with integrity, you create a life built on respect, trust, and a solid foundation that cannot be shaken. So start today, moment by moment, decision by decision. Become the man who commands respect, not because he demands it, but because he lives in a way that inspires it. And when you do that, you'll never again waste time on those who only value you when it's convenient. The difference between toleration and admiration. Every man has a choice. Will he be merely tolerated, or will he be truly admired? A woman might stay with a man out of convenience, habit, or even obligation, but that's not the same as respect. That's not admiration. Integrity is what sets you apart. It's the difference between being a man she barely notices and a man she values deeply, the man she trusts, the man who stands firm in his values, who keeps his word, and who refuses to compromise his self-respect for fleeting validation. In a world filled with dishonesty, a man with integrity is rare, powerful, and unforgettable. The truth about money and attraction. Yes, women are drawn to money, but not for the reasons you might think. It's not just about having cash, it's about what that money represents. Wealth signals more than just material success. It shows your ability to provide stability, security, and a vision for the future. It demonstrates discipline, ambition, and the ability to create opportunities, not just for yourself, but for those around you. But here's the truth. Money alone won't make her love or respect you. What women truly crave goes far deeper than wealth. It's about the man behind the money. Does he have emotional strength? Is he trustworthy? Does he stand by his principles even when it's inconvenient? Because those are the traits that inspire admiration. Those are the traits that build lasting connections. What really matters? Now you understand, money matters, but it's only part of the equation. What truly makes a man stand out is his character, his consistency, and his ability to make a woman feel safe, emotionally, morally, and physically. Be that man, and she'll never forget you. Understanding fear of loss in modern relationships in today's world. Relationships are often built on convenience rather than commitment. When a woman fears losing a man, it's not always about love or connection. Sometimes it's about control. It's about the comfort of knowing someone is always there, a source of stability, validation, or security. And this is crucial to understand. When she left, she wasn't thinking about what she was losing. She believed she was gaining something better, freedom, new opportunities, or even an upgrade. In that moment, she felt confident in her decision, convinced the grass was greener on the other side. But life rarely unfolds the way people imagine. What she thought was an upgrade turns out to be a downgrade. The freedom she chased? It feels lonely. The attention from others? It feels hollow. The excitement of something new? It fades faster than she expected, and suddenly she realizes what she truly lost. The lesson every man must learn. Here's what you need to understand. You were never just an option. You were the foundation, the strength, the man who brought stability and value into her life. And if she couldn't recognize that before, that's her burden to bear, not yours. Your job isn't to prove your worth to someone who only values you when it's convenient. Your job is to continue becoming the man who commands respect, not because he demands it, but because he lives in a way that earns it. And that's the man no woman ever forgets. Why she wants you back. But it's not about love. There comes a point in every man's journey where he must ask himself, am I being valued or am I just being used? Too often men mistake a woman's return for love. They believe she's come back because she finally understands what she lost. But that's not the reality. She didn't leave because she didn't know your worth. She left because she thought she could do better. And now, she's realizing she was wrong. But don't confuse her fear with regret. She's not afraid of losing you. She's afraid of losing what you provided. The truth is, when she left, she wasn't thinking about what she was giving up. She believed she was moving on to something better, more freedom, more attention, or maybe even an upgrade. She was certain that the grass would be greener on the other side. But now, she's starting to see the truth. Why she's really coming back, that new freedom she chased. It feels empty. The attention from other men, it's shallow. The so-called better options, they don't match the care, effort, and consistency you provided. And now she sees you thriving, moving forward, building yourself up, and not waiting for her. That's when the fear sets in. But make no mistake, it's not a fear of losing you, the person. It's the fear of losing the comfort you provided, the security of knowing you'd always be there, the power she had over you when she knew you'd do anything to make her happy. Now she's watching from the sidelines, no longer in control, and that terrifies her.
Fear versus regret. The crucial difference. Her fear of losing you isn't about love. It's about control and insecurity. It's about the realization that she no longer has a place in your life. That's why she's coming back. Not because she truly values you, but because she hates the idea of losing the validation and security you once gave her. She might say all the right things, tell you she's changed, and try to convince you that things will be different this time. But ask yourself this: if she truly valued you, why did she leave in the first place? Why did it take losing you for her to recognize your worth? The truth is, she didn't see your value until it was too late, and that's not on you, that's on her. Your responsibility is to yourself, not to her. Her fear is not your responsibility. It's not your job to comfort her, to make her feel secure, or to be her emotional safety net. Your job is to protect your peace, stay focused on your growth, and build the life you deserve. Fear is a powerful motivator, but don't let it manipulate you. Don't let her fear trick you into thinking she suddenly values what she once took for granted. You are not her backup plan. You are not her safety net. You are not her second choice. You are the man she failed to appreciate when she had the chance. And that's something she'll have to live with. The lesson every man must learn. When she left, she wasn't thinking she was losing you. She thought she was gaining something better, more freedom, more options, maybe even an upgrade. But what she didn't realize is this: the grass is only greener where you take the time to care for it. If you don't stand out as a man of substance, a man with clear goals, strong values, and unwavering integrity, you'll blend into the crowd. Just another name on a long list of forgettable men. But when you hold your ground, when you refuse to be a second option, when you focus on becoming the strongest version of yourself, you become the man who is never forgotten. Not because she came back, but because you never needed her to. Redefining your worth. Most men go through life allowing others to dictate their value, letting people walk in and out as if their time, energy, and emotions mean nothing. They tolerate mistreatment, hoping that if they just give a little more, they'll finally be appreciated. But not you. You're here because you're done being taken for granted. You're done with one-sided relationships where you give everything and get nothing in return. You don't just want answers, you want transformation. You want to understand why they left, why they come back, and most importantly, how to take control of your life and never fall into the same cycle again. And that's exactly what we're about to break down. Why she's really coming back. When she left, she wasn't thinking about what she was losing. She was focused on what she thought she was gaining: freedom, options, an upgrade. At first, she felt confident in her decision, convinced that life without you would be better. Maybe she even felt relieved, but reality has a way of humbling people. The freedom she craved starts to feel lonely. The attention she wanted feels shallow and temporary. The new men she thought were better don't bring what you did, and that's when it hits her. She remembers you. She remembers the way you supported her, the way you were always there when she needed you. the way you made her feel valued. And now, she wants that back. But here's the truth. She's not coming back because she suddenly realized your worth. She's coming back because she doesn't like what her life looks like without you. It's not regret, it's self-interest. And if you let her back in now, without holding her accountable, you teach her that she can leave and return whenever it's convenient for her. Reclaim your power. This is where most men go wrong. They mistake her return for love, when in reality, it's just fear of losing what she once had. When she says she misses you, it's not because she's ready to rebuild. It's because she wants to know she still has access to you. When she says she's sorry, it's not true remorse. It's a way to ease her own guilt. When she asks for another chance, it's not about fixing things. It's about securing her own comfort. But her emotions are not your responsibility. You are not her safety net, her backup plan, or the man she can run to only when life gets difficult. Your worth is not something she gets to decide. The moment you understand this is the moment you reclaim your power. Your next move. This isn't just about her, it's about you. This is your chance to stop chasing and start leading, to set higher standards, not just in relationships, but in every aspect of your life. Build yourself up. Master your mindset. Protect your peace. Demand the respect you deserve. The world is full of men who settle for mediocrity, who tolerate being treated as an afterthought. But you are not one of them. And when you live with that truth, you don't just attract respect, you command it. Break free and reclaim your power. Too many men live their lives being a safety net for people who don't truly appreciate them. They tolerate disrespect, overlook betrayal, and let those who walked away return, without consequences. But that's not who you are anymore. You're not here to be someone's backup plan, emotional crutch, or temporary fix when they feel lost. You're here because you've grown. You've seen the truth, and now you're ready to take back your power.
And the first step? Recognizing the real reason she's coming back. Why she wants you back. The hard truth. When she walked away, she didn't believe she was losing something valuable. She thought she was upgrading. She thought she could replace you with the validation of others, the shallow excitement of new attention, or the fantasy of a better option. But she was wrong. The attention she chased turned out to be temporary and meaningless. The people who gave her validation moved on without a second thought. The freedom she craved started to feel lonely and empty. That's when she remembers you. The man who truly saw her. The man who listened, cared, and gave without hesitation. And now she wants that feeling back. But here's what you need to understand. Her return isn't about love, regret, or appreciation. It's about her. Her ego, her insecurities, her fear of being forgotten. She doesn't miss you, she misses the version of herself she was when you validated her. She doesn't regret losing you, she regrets losing her ability to control you. She doesn't want to rebuild, she just wants to make sure you're still available. And the moment you take her back, you hand her back the power she lost when she walked away. Why you must stand firm. This is where most men fail. They mistake her return for proof of their value instead of seeing it for what it really is. A test. A test to see if you've truly grown. If you've learned to protect your peace, value yourself, and prioritize your own well-being. When she says she's sorry, it's not because she truly regrets her choices, it's because she wants to hear you say, everything's okay. When she says she misses you, it's not because she's ready to rebuild, it's because she wants to know she still holds a place in your heart. When she says she wants another chance, it's not about fixing things, it's about soothing her own insecurities. But her emotions are not your responsibility. Her need for validation isn't your problem to solve. Her fear of being replaced isn't your burden to carry. The power of moving on. On you didn't grow, heal, and evolve just to hand over your strength to someone who didn't value it before. You built yourself up for you. To live a life where your peace, growth, and happiness come first, not someone else's approval. So when she comes back, don't see it as a second chance. See it for what it really is, proof that you were never the problem. She left because she didn't see your worth. She's back because she can't handle the reality of losing you. But that's not your problem anymore. Your next move? Keep moving forward. The real power lies in walking away for good, in choosing yourself, in refusing to be someone's second choice when you deserve to be a priority. You don't need closure. You are the closure. You don't need revenge. Success is your revenge. And you don't need her to realize your worth. You already know it. If this message resonates with you, let it be your turning point. Choose your peace, protect your energy. Keep moving forward because the best version of you, it was never meant to stay in the past.